Welcome dear students. In this lecture we are going to discuss the IUPAC nomenclature of the alcohols, which are also called as the hydroxyalkanes, or in the IUPAC language this class is called as the alkenols. My dear students, when you replace the hydrogen of alkane with OH group, then you get a new class of organic compounds. They are called as the alcohols. Now you can replace one hydrogen, two hydrogen, or three hydrogen, or any number of the hydrogen atoms with the OH group. You will get a class that will be called as the alcohols. So RH, it is general formula of alkanes, and this class is named by replacing this E of name of alkanes with OL. So this class is called as alkenols in IUPAC system and alcohols in the common system of the naming. Now, in order to name any alkenol, you will have to follow different steps. The first one is the selection of parent chain, which is also called as the main chain or skeletal chain of the organic compound. It is the longest continuous chain of the carbon atom which carries all alpha carbons in it, mean all those carbons with which the functional group is attached must be the part of the longest chain, otherwise that will be considered as the wrong. And this parent chain is very important because it will give the parent name to any alcohol. If the parent chain has one carbon, that will be methanol. If it will be having two carbons, then the parent name will be ethanol. If it has three carbons, that will be propanol. If it has four carbons, then butanol, and so on. After selection of the parent chain, now you will give number to all the carbons in the parent chain, and you will begin from that end of the chain where the functional group will be nearer. So you will start numbering from that end of the chain where you will find the functional group nearer. If the functional group is at equal distance from both sides of the chain, then you will start numbering from the end where you will find the substituent nearer. And if the substituents will also be at the equal distance from both sides of the chain, then you can start numbering from any end of the chain. Then third one will be naming. In naming, first of all, you will name the substituents, but before writing down the name of the substituent, first of all, you will mention its location by writing the number of the carbon atom to which the substituent is attached. If the same substituent is repeated, then you will use the prefixes di, tri, tetra, etc. And if there are different substituents in the alcohol, then you will use the or follow the alphabetic order. After naming the substituent, now you will mention the location of the functional group by writing down the number of the carbon atom to which the OH group is attached. And then finally, the parent name will be given to the alcohol by replacing the E of the alkanes with OL, and it will be alkenol. My dear students, these are the steps while you want to name any alcohol according to the IUPAC system, and the punctuation of the name of the organic compound is also very important. IUPAC recommends that between two numbers you will use comma, between a number and a word you will use a hyphen, and between two words there will be no punctuation mark used. So now, if you have understood all these points, let us start with the examples of the naming of the alkenols, starting from the simplest alcohol carrying one carbon. The simplest alkane is called as methane. So the simplest alcohol will be called as methanol by replacing the E of the methane with the OL. Similarly, this one is the second simplest alcohol, the most famous one, and that is the ethanol, because it has two carbon atoms in it, so that will be called as the ethanol in the IUPAC system. Then we have an alcohol with three carbon atoms. Now, my dear students, first of all, let us select the parent chain in all the examples. In this case, this straight chain will be the parent chain, which is the longest continuous chain of the carbon atoms, and the alpha carbon is also the part of the chain. In this second example, again, the longest chain is the straight chain. In this example, you can consider either the straight chain as the parent chain, which carries 4 carbon atoms, or 1, 2, 3, 4. This chain can also be the parent chain. So making it simple, let us select the straight chain as the parent chain. Similarly, now in this compound, 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 4 carbon atoms in this chain, while there is another option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 carbon atoms in this chain. So you will select this chain as your parent chain, which carries the maximum number of carbons, and also the alpha carbon is the part of it. Similarly, in this alcohol, again, the straight chain is the parent chain. Uh, in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, my dear students, listen very carefully. Can I select this chain as the parent chain? It carries the 5 carbon atoms in it. You will say that this is the wrong selection of the parent chain because the alpha carbon is not the part of it. That parent chain which does not carry the alpha carbon, that will be considered as the wrong parent chain. So you cannot select this one as your parent chain, although it also contains the 5 carbon atoms. So the parent chain should be one having alpha carbon. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So any of these can be the parent chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, my dear students, there is again a very important concept here. Listen very carefully. If you will select this chain as the parent chain, this will be the stem of this chain, alcohol, that is the parent chain. And my dear students, there will be only one substituent attached to this parent chain, and that is the isopropyl. But if you will select another chain, which is basically this one. Now, my dear students, this chain also carries the 5 carbon atoms, but there are 2 substituents, one is methyl and other is ethyl. So the parent chain is the one which has maximum number of carbons, which has all alpha carbons in it, and which has maximum number of substituents attached to it. It means this one will be the correct chain because it has maximum number of carbons, it has an alpha carbon in it, and it has 2 substituents attached to it. While the chain I have just mentioned before, that carries only one substituent, so that cannot be the parent chain. So there were 2 or 3 very important concepts in this example number 6. I hope so that you will have understood all these concepts. Now in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is the parent chain which carries a maximum number of carbons. And these are 2 examples in which the alcohol carries more than one functional group. In this case, the straight chain will be the parent chain, and similarly, in this example, the straight chain is the parent chain. So after selecting the parent chain in all these alcohols, now let us number the carbon atoms of the chain. Now there are 2 ends of the chain. One this methyl and other one is this CH2. You will start numbering from the end where the alpha carbon gets the lowest possible number. If you will start numbering from this end, 1, 2, 3, the alpha carbon will get number 3. But if you will start numbering from this end of the chain, the alpha carbon will get number 1. So you will start numbering from that end of the chain where the functional group is nearer, or from where the alpha carbon gets the lowest possible number. So it will be 1, 2, and 3. Similarly, starting from this end, the functional group is at 3rd carbon, but from this end, the functional group is on the 2nd carbon. So you will start numbering from this side where the alpha carbon gets the lowest possible number. Now in this case, again, the functional group is on 2nd carbon, and from this side, the functional group is on 3rd carbon. So you should start numbering from this end. The functional group is preferred over substituent. you will first consider the position of the functional group. If the functional group will be present at equal distance from both sides, then the position of the substituent is considered. Now, in this case, 1, 2, so you will number the carbon atoms like this. Similarly, OH group is nearer from this end of the chain. So, these are the numbers. In this case, the OH group is nearer from this end. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, in this example, numbering will start from this side. And in these examples, you can start numbering from any sides because the OH groups are at equal distance from both sides. So after numbering, now let us name all these alcohols. First of all, the name of the substituent, and before mentioning the name of the substituent, the location will be mentioned. Now let us look at this first example. In this first example, there is no substituent attached to this main chain. There is only the straight chain, and this compound is having no substituent. So you will not name the substituent. You will start from the location of the OH group. The OH group is attached to first carbon. That will be 1. And there are 3 carbons in this chain, and the 3 carbon alkane is called as propane. And finally, you will replace the E of this propane with OL. So its name will be 1-propanol. Its name should be, it is also a straight chain compound with no substituent. So the position of the OH group is written first. It is attached to the carbon number 2. So that will be 2. And the straight chain has 4 carbons. So it will be butanol. That is 2-butanol. In this case, there is a substituent methyl and OH group is also present. So first of all, you will name the substituent, but before naming it, mention its location. It is attached to carbon number 3. That will be 3. Now the name of the substituent is methyl. After that, the location of OH group, it is on second carbon 2. And now the name of the parent chain, that should end at OL. So that is 3-methyl-2-butanol. In this example, there is methyl on the third carbon. So that will be 3-methyl-2. The straight chain has 5 carbons. So that is pentanol. My dear students, in this case, you can see that the methyl is on 4th carbon, so location is 4. The name of substituent is methyl. Location of OH group is 2, and the parent name should be hexanol. Now, in this example, there are 2 types of the substituents. One is methyl, other one is ethyl. So they should be named alphabetically. Ethyl should be named first. That will be 3-ethyl, 4-methyl, 2-pentanol. When the different substituents are present, then we follow the alphabetic order. So alphabetically, ethyl is named first. Now in this case, there is methyl on third carbon, so that is 3-methyl-2-pentanol. So these were all the monohydroxy alkanes or the alcohols containing only a single functional group. Now in this case, my dear students, first of all, the position of the 2 functional groups, one is attached to the carbon number 1, the second is attached to the carbon number 2. So 1,2 ethane, now it is a diol. It is an alkane diol basically. So 1,2 ethane diol. It has 3 OH groups. So 1, 2, 3. Parent chain has 3 carbons, propane, and it has 3 functional groups. So it is a triol. 1, 2, 3 propane triol. And you know that the common name of this alcohol, that is glycol, ethylene glycol, and this one is glycerol basically, which is a component of the fats. And glycol is a name reserved for all vicinal diols. All those diols in which two functional groups are present on two adjacent carbon atoms, they are called as the glycols. And this one is specifically called as the ethylene glycol in the common language. In the IUPAC language, it is 1,2-ethane diol. So these were some different examples how we can name the alcohols. For more perfection, you will practice some more problems at your home. And if you find any problem while naming any alcohol, you can ask in the comment section. I will be there to help you out. Till then, take care.